Okay, you guys, got an exciting video for you today. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be hooking our EC2 instance and our Flask app to a Docker, or it's called Docker, a Docker project. And what that's going to do is it's going to basically restart our Flask app if Flask crashes. If we log out of our EC2 instance, it'll still be running. If the EC2 instance crashes and reboots, Docker will restart the process. Very cool stuff. This is going to make our Flask project persistent. So if you remember, we had to set our port number up here in the URL too. We had to set it to 5000. We're going to get rid of that, and it's going to be on port 80, which means we don't have to include a port number. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to leave that in there so I can show you guys something later. I'm going to put that right there. I'm going to close out of this Flask app. We're going to come back, clear it. The command that I just ran was clear. One thing that I forgot to mention is if you guys are having problem installing dependencies or anything like that, make sure that you run sudo apt-get update. This is going to basically update your EC2 instance packages and repos and whatnot. And if you're having problem installing Python or anything like that, that might be the reason. I already ran my update though, so I don't have to run it again. Cool. So a couple of things that we have to do. First, we have to make a change in our api.py file. And that change is we're going to specify the port that we want to hit. So we come down to where we run our app. We're going to say port equals 80. Whoops. There we go. Cool. Port equal 80. Hit Control X, Y, Enter. And then we also have to change the file structure for our Flask app because Docker requires a very specific file structure. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be making a new directory called app. Oh. Sorry, I already had a directory called app. You're not going to have a directory called app. Your file structure is going to look like that. So go ahead and call makedir app. And then move your api.py file into your new app folder and call it main.py. This is basically the file that Docker will look at whenever it's creating the project and running it. It's going to look inside the app/main.py file. Okay, cool. So next up is we are going to create, or no, actually first we have to install a couple of packages. So let's go ahead and do that right now. We're going to run sudo apt-get install python/dev space docker.io. Alrighty. A couple of things before I run this. A space in between two package names means that you're going to install each package. Python-dev and docker.io are both going to be installed, with python-dev being installed first. Docker.io. You want to make sure that you include the .io because there is a package called Docker, just Docker, and that's not what we're using. We're using docker.io. Okay, so once you have that lined up, go ahead and hit enter and install those dependencies. Hit yeah, you don't care about the memory consumption. And then just let that do its thing. Cool. Okay, so next up what we're going to do is we're going to create a Docker file. You can think of this as like a configuration file for our Docker project. So in our Docker project, or in our Twilio YouTube app folder, we're going to create a new file called Docker file. Sorry. You don't want to include an extension with this file. So you don't want to have .txt or .io or .bat or anything like that. You just want regular Docker file. You're going to hit enter, and then you're going to add these lines. So the first line is from Tyngelo UWSGI Nginx Flask. I'm not going to go over what this does. I'm going to include a link to a video where somebody explains this very thoroughly and kind of goes over line by line. But basically, this is just a package that is going to get installed. Oh, and I made a mistake. It's not period, it's slash. So make sure that you have a slash, not a period. Otherwise, it'll break. Cool. Okay, so the next line that we're going to make is copy requirements.txt into the temp file. So this is, after we finish the contents of this file, I'll go over what the steps are. And the next line we're going to run is run pip install pip, and then run pip install -r tmp/requirements requirements.txt, and then copy.app into the app folder directory. Okay, so what this is going to do, there's good documentation on this line. It's just a package that Docker is going to install. But we're going to copy our requirements.txt that's in our current directory in our Twilio project into the base directory TMP file, the temp file folder. And then we're going to have pip install or update, that -u is update pip, and then we're going to install our requirements, our package dependencies. And then we're going to copy our app file that includes our main.py file or Flask project file into the root directory root directory app folder. And Docker is going to take care of all of that for us. Cool. So let's hit Control X, Y, Enter. And then now all that's left to do is building our project. So let's do that. Let's run sudo docker build. So you have to run a sudo because we're on an EC2 instance. EC2 instances are picky about that. You're going to run sudo docker build. You're going to hit /t for tag. This is going to be a base name for our project, whatever we want to call it. I'm going to call it my Twilio app. And then we're going to specify that we want to build the project that's in the current directory. So we're going to use a period to denote that we want to look in the current directory. And then hit enter. This is going to take a little while. It's going to pull a whole bunch of stuff down, download it, install it, etc. So go ahead and let this do its thing, and then when it stops, we'll come back and actually run the Docker project. Okay. Alright, you guys, so if it was installed correctly, if it built correctly, you should see the successfully built hash. Cool. So if it did, let's go ahead and run our Docker project. So this is the cool command that we get to do. Sudo docker run. We're going to put this in the background with the -d flag. We're going to hit restart equals always. This is going to basically mean if the EC2 instance gets shut down and rebooted or whatever, it's going to restart the Docker project. If Flask crashes, it's going to restart the Docker project. If we log out, it's going to keep the Docker project going, etc. So that just makes it persistent. We're going to bind this on port 8080, okay? And then we're going to apply the tag for our project that we set whenever we first built our project, which was my Twilio app. Make sure you change it to the name that you used. Cool, hit enter, and it should give you a long hash right there. And now, if you go back to your EC2 instance window, and you get rid of this 5000 right here, and you just include basic test, you hit enter, you should still see your congrats, you hit our basic test. So congratulations, you guys, you have now created a persistent Flask app on an EC2 instance. This is going to be really important when we actually tie it into Twilio and want to send a text message 5 days from now, because it should still be running, it should still respond, it should still be up. So yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed doing this, and I'll see you guys in the next video.